Drew Barry with 5. 41-32. Well, you recall in game 1 between these clubs in November, Seattle had a 14-point lead in the second half, and the Hawks came back to win.
Right.
The big smooth misses the 3, and Dikembe in to get the rebound.
Oh, Chucky Brown and Detlef Schrempf. Schrempf right in his face.
Oh, and a pretty good shove by Chucky Brown.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the throat that has been bothering Schrempf, and Chucky Brown gave a shove right in the area that's been hurting.
Well, Schrempf looked like the initiator, at least, of that part of the confrontation. We didn't see what happened to start it all off.
Cooler heads prevailing.
Oh, and they said, no, they're still talking.
I think they just threw Chucky Brown out of the game.
No, they didn't.
All right, at least Terry Durham just sent him back to the bench. And Schrempf has been told to go to the bench. Boy, when I saw Terry Durham raise that thumb, I thought he tossed it.
It did look like he did. But he just told him, go to the bench.
Double technical. Take it on the side and everything stays just like it is. Yeah, double technical, right?
Louis Grillo, the voice you hear.
That's all.
Some technicals each way, it appears, but no ejections. See if we can pick up what happened here.
Chucky saying, why am I getting the tech? But you take a look here, and Chucky blocking him out, and he says that's a little too much elbow for my liking, is what Schrempf says. And then there's the pushing.
Well, Detlef, I got news for you, pal. If you get upset on a fierce block out,
really,
you're in for a long season. Well, the playoffs start. And not only do they have weapons, they are playing with confidence.
Oh, yes, they are.
Schrempf for 3. The 4th different Sonic to hit a 3-point shot. Timeout, Atlanta. Wow. Pretty impressive. 2:15 left before halftime. Detlef Schrempf with his 41st three-pointer of the season, and the Sonics have an 18-point lead.
Complaining on a lot of previous plays to the official.
Detlef coming back to jam it.
All over, and Person brings it back out to Sura. Sura with 10 assists already in the game. And here's a screen by Ilgauskas. Sura down the middle. Sura throws it up, didn't get it. Rebound off. Ilgauskas got it, score it. Ilgauskas only in his 2nd year.
Really having a good season too, Chick. One of the candidates for most improved.
46-43. The Laker lead is 3. Fisher with the ball. 2 minutes to play. O'Neal goes through the key. He's got the ball. He's fouled. Look out. Ilgauskas and O'Neal. I'm going to tell you something, Ilgauskas. You're too thin for that.
I like to see little confrontations like that because we see then who becomes the better player as Cedrunas picks up the foul, trying to hold Shaquille off from coming into the middle. Shaquille gets the ball, gets hammered. All he does is puts his hands up, comes down and hits Cedrunas across the shoulder and side of the head.
Free throw is no good. Rebound is off. Ilgauskas has got it. And the crowd loves that.
The up and under move. Michael Jordan gets it back. Oh, what a pass to Pippen, and he is fouled. Brian Shaw.
Well, Brian Shaw was the man who told us that there would be no easy layups. There would be a lot of hard fouls, and he just applied a hard foul. There, Michael sees Pippen wide open. Brian said, well, I can't let you have the layup. I'm going to just put you on the ground.
And that puts Shaw on the bench with his 5th foul. Kevin Edwards replaces him. Shaw played in Rome, Italy in the Italian League for a year. He left the Celtics.
This is a journey into sound.
a forward journey is often a perilous one. And no matter how skilled, not even the most imposing superstar can escape its bruising tribulations. These next gentlemen could make you feel old in a hurry. They are the game's first enforcer, and none are more renowned than Maurice Lucas. Bill Bridges held his ground against those who dared venture into his domain. And the often overpowering Paul Silas wielded the strength of two men. Around the league, things got pretty rough in the paint.
Coming at you, and he's trying to prove something, and of course you react to that. I mean, you don't back down to that challenge.
A Saturday night fight in Orlando has resulted in fines and suspensions for Greg Kite of the Magic and Ronnie Cycli of the Heat. The two went at it in the closing seconds of the first half in Orlando on Saturday night. Cycli is going to be down here somewhere with Greg Kite on top of him. Kite, labeled the aggressor in the fight, was fined $7,500 and suspended for 2 games. Cycli was docked $5,000 and suspended for 1 game, so he's not in there tonight as Miami plays host.
Outside, doesn't he?
Yeah, but you know, on that pick and roll, Dick, he should go to the basket because the layup is there.
Kevin Johnson, foul.
Easy now, easy. You can't let tempers go, Dad. This is too important a ball game.
And he's got to realize that in the 6th game of a conference final, you're going to get hit like that.
Well, see, he blew right by his man. He came in on a staggered dribble, exploded right past Terry Porter. And once he got down inside, here he is now. See, he didn't like the fact that he got hit real hard by the big guy. But when you're at that size and you go down in there, you know you got to take it.
Foul is on Duckworth, and the 4th team foul against Portland. One more in there in the penalty. And Portland now shooting perimeter shots and missing from out there. Kevin Johnson has it knocked away and will go to the free throw line again. And they're in the penalty now. That's the 15th foul against the trail game high scorer.
Well, you can live with that early, Dick, but we know over the 48 minutes it will eventually break down.
Kevin Johnson penetrating. KJ gives the Suns a 4-point lead.
Well, we just got a technical foul. Yes, indeed. And they're calling on Kevin Johnson. You'll see that once he makes this field goal right here, now watch him now what he does as he comes out.
Number 7, KJ.
He threw the basketball.
To be shot by number 30.
You'll see it from this angle here now. You see he threw the basketball, and what they want to do is they do not want to instigate anything. Now that's a very costly technical foul.
Terry Porter. Danny Young. This is the layup on the penetration. They're going to jump it with Lang and Bryant, and they go nose to nose.
Yeah, that's all right. You know, you're a coach. You don't mind that. You know, he's got 2 guys that even if they should leave this game, it's not going to change the course of the game.
I don't think they'd want to hear that.
Yeah, but wait a second. But what you like is that if you're Phoenix Cotton, you love the fact that your guy's going in there shot blocking and using his body. Now you'll see here, hey, they're going after that rebound. What's so bad about that? Neither guy's going to back down.
A double technical foul has been called, which is the right call. This looks like a preview of a heavyweight championship fight, doesn't it?
Hey, and they are heavyweights, let me tell you. You have 2 big bodies.
Out of 6 on the road. But a road victory will send them to the finals tonight. Blocked inside. Wayne Cooper. Here's Petrovic at the other side. And Portland leads it 91-90, and a technical foul has been called
against Petrovic, apparently. Let's wait for a confirmation, but I think it was Andrade.
Well, everyone there is really upset because first he had a great block, a terrific pass, the layup by Drazen, and you'll see that after it came down, boom, there goes the elbow, and you know, the referees are not going to allow that to happen. They're not going to allow to have guys swing the elbow. He hit him below the shoulders. Hey, if he hit him in the head, they could call 2 and throw.
Monday, it was a real dogfight in New York as the Knicks and the Pistons were unleashed for Game 5. Fourth quarter, Joe Dumars drives the lane and puts it under the outstretched arms of Patrick Ewing as he gives the Pistons a huge lift. Foul. But the Knicks were too young, too hungry, too much for Detroit. Rookie Greg Anthony blows by everyone for the hoop, then says, "Have a nice day" to Mark Aguirre as
How's my Pat Riley look? You see, lift your camera up a little bit, man. Keep the camera up a little, right? Down a little bit, down, right. There, okay, thank you.
Chicago were ready to go 8th, but the Knicks' Charles Oakley fires the first shot of the series, but he was willing to listen to his conscience. Phil Jackson.
I put people in the seats when people weren't coming to basketball games. I did it by starting rivalries, feuds, got them to hate some of the guys on the other team.
There's that hot dog throwing his fist up in the air. What a hot dog move. Put a little mustard on him.
When you think about the Celtics, you always think about Johnny.
If they did something that I considered a no-no, I said so. And I said it in very strong language.
Oh, the yellow, gutless way they do things here.
If you don't have colorful phrases, a colorful way of saying things, who's going to remember?
Thomas fiddles and diddles. Now he daddles and doodles. Now he's doodling and diddling again. Back up top it goes over the bird.
Because I had a lot more years than I thought I would ever have. I just said, my God, this makes me the luckiest man alive.
This is Johnny Moe saying bye for now.
He made rooting for the Celtics seem not just like a good idea, but almost like your civic duty if you lived in Boston or anywhere in New England for that matter.
New York did a good job getting back quickly enough to prevent a layup, forced the jump shot.
Tied at 16. Starks whacks Paxson and then drains the jumper.
Very streaky offensive player. There's a technical foul, I think, on Paxson.
Well, Paxson thought Starks had put his shoulder into it and knocked him down. Ed T. Rush with the tee, and Starks will shoot it for the Knicks.
Ed T. Rush with the tee. You think his middle name is technical?
Former coach, you'd know that better than me. Did he ever call one on you?
Oh, he got a lot on me.
There you go. I think from now on it will be Ed Technical Rush.
John Paxson, pretty good defense there. Thought that John Starks had lowered his left shoulder, did not get the call, and Starks buried the open jump shot. John Starks again now buried for Chicago. Hodges, though, can shoot cold coming off the bench. They're going to have to not let him get threes.
The turnover as he tried to get it to Scottie Pippen, but first the whistle, so it won't be a turnover. They were holding Pippen. That's why he didn't make the catch.
When I talked to Pat Riley before the game, one of the things he said was that Hodges was very effective with us during the season. You see the push in the back. They do not want to let Hodges...
And I can handle anything as long as we're winning.
Including food. His appetite has always been an issue. He once weighed 315 pounds. They called him Boy Gorge, round mound of rebound.
Not bad.
The Sixers even had a night letting everybody heavier than 260 in free. But now a trimmed-down Barkley is laughing at others.
Those big guys, you know, we're pretty ugly, but Moses, I consider myself ugly, but I consider Moses uglier.
Incidentally, if you decide to call him Boy Gorge, do it on the run. He still weighs about 250 pounds. We'll go from one heavyweight to another.
Steve Jumper closes things in since 17-13, and now Dawkins and Parrish. Dawkins said, "Don't mess with me," and Madden has to break them up. You can just feel the intensity and electricity
the import of this game, and you can obviously see it in the crowd, and it's evident on the court.
I wonder what that guy in the stand, he thinks that he just gets back in the seat, and here they go again. Maybe he's a referee.
Maxwell and I should say Dawkins and Parrish. Don't mess with me.
That's a big picture of Darryl Dawkins. But right now, back to the game. Boston has a chance to break the mark, which I thought was very important. The 5.
Down to 3.5 minutes we go. Here we go. Three-pointer by Bol. His best shot. Yep. We're not kidding. That's his 8th three-pointer this year. He made 20 last year. And gets the block, but also the foul against Sean Elliott, and a technical foul. And there may be one on the coach here. There it is. Both Don Nelson and his assistant there, Gary St. Jean, with teams, and Nelson, they want out of this thing. I think they each have one technical here.
He gave the signal twice, but 3 times, but I think he only called 2.
Well, now they say one tech was on Bol and one on Nelson.
Yeah.
But I think St. Jean got into that because he didn't want Nelson to get 2 by Manute Bol.
It's a good block, but the follow-through smashed him in the face. Has to be a foul, except in Manute's idea.
It was his 5th foul.
Nelson's gone. He just gave him another one. Now he's giving him a choke sign. Nelson is. I think he's already given him the 2nd technical.
That's it.
This is Bill Spooner, the official that's making all these moves. He is not a popular man in Oakland.
This is the 3rd ejection walk-off we have witnessed tonight. Burkowski and Teagle in a fight.
Ball into Vlade. Vlade having a big game, traveled with the ball. Vlade has got 14 out of 17 field goals, 29 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks. But look at Dell. He's gone. He got kicked out. You can't get out on the floor, and Dell was about, well, 75 feet away from the play. He didn't like the traveling call against Vlade.
Well, quite frankly, I didn't like it either. I mean, in the middle, Vlade just caught the ball. They obviously said he shuffled his feet, but if you watch centers in the NBA, there are so many of them that as soon as they touch the ball, right before they make their move, they move both feet. They just hop. That's traveling. It's never called.
Katkowski misses the first of 2 free throws on the technical against Dell. Second one is good. That breaks an 11-0 runaway, and it's 11-1 now in this one. Here's the Hornet. I guess his name is Hugo or hers, whatever. How do you tell the sex of a Hornet?
Well, I'll tell you something.
Screen from Edwards, gets it, gives it back. James, 2-timed in the lane, gets shoved, takes a swipe at Neely, and Brendan Malone's trying to pull Neely away and separate the two, and it gets a little feisty on the baseline. I think we're going to lose a couple of players, at least one anyway.
I see Daryl Garrison saying, George, that Edwards is gone. Edwards threw the punch, and he's going to go to the locker room on that one. I guarantee you. Daryl Garrison stood right there and watched the whole thing. He is out of here.
Go to the locker room.
Well, they know that if he stays on the floor, it's going to cost him more money, but you can't punch. It was a hard foul. There was no doubt about that. Neely did foul him, but he is gone. So you see, George, it crops up in the low post to drive. He's fouled by 2 people, actually, and those are both hard fouls. And that's
Edwards grabbed Neely on the way down. Neely took a little exception to that and shoved back. And that's when James Edwards flailed away. He nailed him once.
The thing about it is that James Edwards was going to the basket. So you have a situation where who shoots a free throw now? James Edwards is in the locker room. So Phil
Phil Jackson will have to.
Orlando's Horace Grant scuffled with Cleveland's Danny Ferry. Grant was ejected. Magic won easily, though, 116-104. And Alonzo Moore.
And it's a 5-on-2 for the Lakers. And Worthy is decked. And Worthy doesn't like it. And Gray Kite was tagged. Both coaches have come on to try to cool things down. And Tommy, that was a very rough takedown of James Worthy.
Yes, it was. I believe it was Gray Kite who would be physical on a play. But one of the things that people feel about James Worthy is that if you hit him hard on the layups, he stops going strong to the basket. It's an intimidation thing. But here you're going to see Kite just come at him and really take him down. That was a hard foul. Now Worthy was going to get it. He should have not come up and started swinging. And Kite comes back at him. What's going to happen now is in the lap of the guards as far as Worthy and Kite are concerned.
How would you compare that to the Lane Beer Bird incident in Detroit?
Different situation, I think. Each play is different. Now, do they throw anybody out of this game? It's an uneven swap if they throw Worthy and Kite out.
No way they'll throw Worthy out.
Well,
there's no way they can throw him out.
All Kite should get on that is really the foul.
Right.
And that's it.
I agree.
It depends upon whether they determine when there was a fighting foul. Both players threw punches.
By the way, the foul was on Dennis Johnson.
Dennis Johnson.
Here's Earl Strong. And a double technical foul has been called on both James Worthy and Gray Kite.
Now, these teams not only are going to play 7 games, but they have had a history of going at each other in the series, and there's a lot of things from the past that resurrect themselves in people's memories when the emotions start to boil over.
Worthy shooting the 2 free throws on the foul on the play. Gives the Lakers a chance to run. Scott goes in, and he's fouled. And now they've got to separate the athletes again. Tommy, you get the feeling we're well into this championship final.
Well, their bodies got into it one game at a time. Boston came back here. The Lakers had their running game going. Now their minds and emotions are at full steam. They're at the boiling point. They're going to see the Celtics now come in and attack Byron Scott, and Bird just takes it again from behind, and he got hit in the face, and there you see the jostling between A.C. Green. Scott steps in and says, "You can't do that to my teammate." And Kevin McHale, not, wanting to be a little macho right now, but not get thrown out of the game, kind of talks to him and tries to keep the distance, and cooler heads prevail, as they say.
Personal foul is on Larry Bird, and a double technical foul against Byron Scott and Kevin McHale for their skirmish. No shots are taken on the double technical.
Once we got to the playoffs, we said we're here and we're not going to be denied.
Met the equal of the bruising Detroit Pistons, their opponent in the 1988 finals.
They were the bad boys, and they were physical, and they're gritty, and what they take away is everything that I like to do, is inside post up. And so I knew it was going to be a challenge for me. It was just pure guts and who wanted it. That was what that series was all about, but that's what gets me going. So I felt right at home playing that.
So it's like everybody just get ready, sit back, and let's enjoy it.
Cheesy, that's what we called it. Cheesy Johnson, because we hated his smile. That magic smile was really the poster that we could put on the wall and we could start throwing darts at, because we hated it that much.
Look out, Bird's in the crowd trying to get a loose ball back, and by golly, he doesn't.
I hated him. I hated Larry. It just went like that.
no other word to really use.
Even though he did nothing in games, except swing a towel around. You went into an arena there where those fans, they wanted more than just to win. And it would be packed, and it would be noisy, and it'd be ugly.
Magic! Larry's gonna kill you! There's no magic in here!
And then Larry was taking the ball out of bounds. Michael Cooper was trying to guard him. Larry kicked it back and kicked him into the stands. It was awesome. Got into a verbal thing with Magic, and I said to him, step across this line. If I come on the floor, I'm in trouble. But you come across here, I'm gonna flatten you in the floor.
Yeah, Mel didn't want to fight me. Remember that. You write that down.
Our reaction was too personal. We should have reacted as a team on the court.
They were in our heads at that time, and they sort of had our number as we really got into a retaliatory type of mentality. Even though we got Game 6, I didn't feel good about where we were. As a coach, even though you're going into Game 7 with great players, you just didn't have that kind of feeling.
The way the Sixers were blown out in Game 1, one might think there's little a coach can do. But after studying Game 1, Cunningham makes some adjustments. His problem is plain: slow down the Lakers' fast break. That means either coping with the Laker trap or exposing it as an illegal defense. And that's where Darryl Garretson comes in. Cunningham had planted the idea of an illegal defense even before the start of Game 2, and now he hammers away at the officials. This sight, this endless argument, has been going on as long as there have been coaches and referees. It has become part of the ritual of sports. And the particular nature of officiating basketball, a game that requires the referee to rule more frequently than his diamond or gridiron counterpart, often makes the dialogue between coach and official unceasing. Besides, the ref is always within earshot. But the line between persuasion and provocation is a fine one, and Cunningham knows that he may need the ref's good favor at some critical juncture later on in the game. In the meantime, he has devised a strategy for beating the trap. The code word is fist.
My feeling against any type of defense.
An illegal defense on Los Angeles.
Confrontation was far from over. A year later, Rodman overcame agonizing back spasms to help the Pistons gain their first championship.
It's all right, big man. You got us here, we'll do the rest. You got us here, we'll do the rest.
And the rivalry continues. Because for basketball's greatest players, though their bodies may sometimes fail, their indomitable spirits do not.
The Eastern Conference Final.
This is a team that we didn't like, and they were at a point where we were trying to get. So it was tough to swallow.
Again, it's the dirty work. Detroit wants it more at this point. Time is beginning to run out for the Chicago Bulls.
They feel like they could beat us at will.
This game plays Portland for the NBA title.
Michael, you're not doing it today. You ain't gonna do it today.
Jordan, Robert, and the Pistons want to make Jordan pay.
They do the little things to frustrate us.
And the Bulls overreact. Pippen lost his cool.
We were in total despair. They had done it to us again. They had beaten us.
It's over. The Pistons return to the NBA Finals for the third straight time.
As the Bulls readied for their fourth confrontation with the Pistons, it was clear that if their moment of destiny was ever to come, the time was now.
We had took it back.
I was always very confident that we could beat this team. And I felt this year when we faced them, we were ready. We believed in ourselves. We believed in the system that we've been under for the last couple of years. And it's gratifying when you get to that point.